What is going on, everybody? Today we are out here on this 2024 Street Glide in the new base color, the billiard gray. And I'll have to say, it looks pretty good. So Harley-Davidson did some amazing things this year for 2024. One thing they did was lower the cost on the Street Glide and Road Glide. The new MSRP on the base color, which is this billiard gray with the chrome, is only $25,999. And for that price, I'm gonna tell you, you get a lot. Now that's not included like dealer fees, tax, title, delivery setup, none of that, but the MSRP is lower than the previous generation motorcycle. But with that, now you're getting the 117 motor in the Street Glide and the Road Glide, and this motor's putting out 130 foot-pounds of torque and 105 horsepower. You're still getting a 6-gallon tank that's going to get you 44 miles to the gallon. You're actually going to get more storage. You're going to get 2.42 cubic feet of storage within these newly redesigned bags. They're not stretched anymore, but they are kind of bowed out so they're able to fit more luggage or whatever you want to pack in them. And I do like the styling of them. So one thing that I've always had a gripe with on Harley-Davidsons is the stock seat. The stock seats were never any good. This seat is surprisingly good. We'll talk about it while we're out riding. Another massive improvement is they managed to shave 18 pounds off of the Street Glide. So the new wet weight is only 811 pounds. You're finally getting full integrated LED headlights and turn signals. You got new liquid cooled cylinder heads, which are going to help with comfort when you're riding slow so that your legs and your thighs ain't burning up. And you've got this massive 12.3 inch display that is vivid. It's literally a beautiful display, and it's running the Skyline OS system. And you got rider modes. Now, while I don't know how I feel personally about them changing the base color from vivid black to this new billiard gray, I do like the billiard gray. Not on every model, but on some of them. I feel like it would have looked better if it was on the black setup with this, but the black has an upcharge, so we're out here on the base model with the chrome setup. But it doesn't look bad. I'll have to give it to them. Y'all comment down below. What do you think of the new Street Glide in the billiard gray? Let's get on my gear so I can go ride. I got all my gear sitting over here on the ground because somebody commented that they wanted me to do these reviews without my helmet on because they don't like the sound of my voice being muffled, because they want to hear all the cadence in this sexy ass voice. All right, let's go for a ride. All right, so to turn the bike on, you hit this switch here, and then you're greeted to this beautiful display that I told you about. You've got the option, you got some options with this display, which is pretty cool. You can control the display by either touch. Oh, got gloves on. So you can control this display by either touch or by using the controls over here. I'm gonna put my glove back on and we'll just use these controls. So you can actually change the display from this bright white color to a rich black color, which looks pretty cool as well. We're gonna leave it in the white mode. You also can change the way the display looks. Right now we have it in cruise, but you got the option of putting it in sport, which gives you your speedo dead center as well as with your RPM gauge going around it. And then you got your fuel over there and your voltage over there. And you can put it in tour mode, which is going to give you your gas gauge and your miles per hour over there. You don't get a tachometer, but this whole entire display would end up being your navigation. Now, on the models that aren't CVOs, you actually have to pay for a navigation subscription unless you're using something like Apple CarPlay. If you plug that in, you'll get your navigation on here, which in my opinion, Apple CarPlay works better than the Harley navigation anyway. So just use your Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto or whatever you got on your phone. This motorcycle also has 4 ride modes. You're going to get road, sport, a custom mode, and rain mode. We're going to just leave the center screen to show your radio, and let's start riding. When the bike cranks up, you're greeted to a nice Harley-Davidson rumble. These actually sound better than the previous generation motorcycles. With the stock exhaust on, you do get a little bit of rumble out of these. Got your mirrors right there. You can see plenty out of the mirrors. You got this adjustable airflow vent too that you can either close or open depending on how you want the airflow. Got a massive amount of controls, which a lot of people get intimidated by, but honestly, it's not that much. This controls like your buttons on there. This gets you into the menu. You got your cruise control buttons there. You got your traction control over here. This just controls your stereo. You got your mode button, and you've got like your talk features to be able to talk to your virtual assistant. That's all that's on there, really. It's not a lot. All right, now we're off. So when it comes to how the motorcycle feels, it definitely feels a lot lighter than just an 18-pound weight reduction. The bike feels almost as light as something like a Softail, like a Lowrider ST or something. You're going to get a very light feeling motorcycle, which helps for when you're doing those longer rides. You don't want to feel all that weight. You want to feel like you're on a motorcycle, and that's what this feels like. It feels like you're on a motorcycle. You're going to get more performance too. You got a 117 in the standard model. Like the 117 is just standard now on the road glides and street glides, which I feel like is epic. And this 117 is going to have more performance than your previous generation ST, and you can still build that up as well. Right now we're in rain mode. Rain mode is going to be toned way down, which it should be. It's for if you're out on a wet day and the ground's wet, so that way you keep traction when you don't have throttle control or you're ripping on that throttle. It's also great for individuals who do not have experience with a touring motorcycle, or they get intimidated by it. They can start off in rain mode and graduate to road mode, and then eventually get up there into the sport mode. But as you can see, when you're rolling on throttle and you're in rain mode, it's very dialed back, very muted. There's not a lot of throttle response. You really got to twist that throttle to get some power coming out of here. But I'm familiar with these bikes, and it ain't raining, so we're gonna jump on into road mode, and that's cool too. You can actually throw it into road mode while you're riding. You don't have to stop the bike to put it in road mode. You can just hit the button and you're in road mode, and then you get your standard type of performance that you should get out of a 117 motor. You know, it kind of feels like a special at this point. You're getting about the performance that a special would have, maybe a little bit more, because it is a 117. You got plenty of torque, you got plenty of acceleration, plenty of passing power, and this is the mode, as you can see, that you can typically stay in about, I would say you can stay in this mode like 90% of your time riding. Like, do I suggest staying in this mode 90% of the time riding? I wouldn't. I would experience sport mode more, but you can stay in this mode for 90% of your riding experience on this motorcycle if you really want to. As far as how the bike handles, it definitely handles better than the previous year model. Like, you can notice a difference as soon as you start riding this motorcycle. Think about that for a second here. You're getting a better handling motorcycle with more performance and more features for a lower cost now. I mean, there's no lose situation to this. It's win-win all the way down. And if you miss models like the ST and the specials, and you want this style motorcycle but you want it in a limited configuration, Harley-Davidson has packages that they released when they released these bikes that you could put on them to build that model. Like, there's an ST package that comes with like a step-up styled seat, which the seat looks good too, and it's more firm, it locks you in place. You get a high flow air filter, which looks pretty cool, and it comes with a tuner, and you tune the bike, and then you're getting a little bit more performance, and you're getting that ST style. So while a lot of people are talking about why they only come out with the ST and the CVO model, you can still get a ST style bike kind of similar to the previous generation, but it's going to have more performance out of the street glide and the road glide. And now you can pick any color you want and turn it into an ST. While I'm sitting here, let's talk about ergonomics. I am 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. The street glide always feels a little bit smaller to me than the road glide. That's because the fairing's closer to me. Feels like the bars are a little bit closer. The road glide just feels more roomy because the screen and everything's pushed back a little bit. They're basically on the same platform. They're the same size motorcycle. I'm sitting completely upright. It is comfortable. The handlebars are a lot lower than I would prefer. I would like my bars maybe like about right here, but I get if they're right here, they'd be blocking my mirrors. But this is an ideal setup for handlebars. But I typically change handlebars on any bike I got anyway, and you can do the same thing with this one. All right, I feel like we've been in road mode long enough, wouldn't you say? Let's jump into sport mode in the middle of a turn. That's smart. So we're gonna hang back just a wee bit, not too much, because we don't want to get the person behind me upset. We are cruising at around 30 miles per hour. Looks like we're at about 2,500 RPM, and we are in second gear. We are gonna roll on and see what kind of power we can get out of sport mode. Oh my Lord. Did you see how fast that accelerated? So second gear, rolling on from 2,500 RPM, you're gonna get that performance. So you've got plenty of passing power. You got plenty of fun factor when it comes to these new models. And as far as how they feel on the road, it feels extremely nimble. The suspension feels good. There's plenty of dampening going on. Like, I'm not feeling any of these road imperfections, but I still feel connected to the road. The one thing that, which I understand why they have to do it like that, that's the only way you can really have ride modes and things like that, is sometimes the throttle, when it's these ride-by-wire throttles, they kind of, you know, it just doesn't feel as connected to the motorcycle as the cable throttles from back in the day, like my Dyna has. But you're getting more features when you got this ride-by-wire, and it's still, let's see, it's pretty responsive. It is pretty responsive. They got it dialed in quite a bit there, and I can hear those pipes growling out the back. It doesn't sound as good as like the CVO and the ST models. They did something with those exhausts where they sound even better, but you do get a little bit of grumble. Now, they don't make a lot of aftermarket exhausts for these motorcycles yet. The cool part is the previous generation bike, the slip-ons for those bikes, they fit these. So you could throw a pair of Tab on, or some Competition Works or Vance & Hines slip-ons. You can get some slip-ons on here, and you can get a pretty aggressive sound out of them. Now, I think Sawicki does make an exhaust that works for this motorcycle, and you know Sawicki sounds amazing. I can't give my thoughts on it because I have yet to review that exhaust yet, but I have seen it. It's on one of the bikes up at the dealership. It's on a CVO from last year, and it looks good and it sounds good, but I haven't rode that yet. Yeah, this bike is a game changer when it comes to baggers, like the new style baggers, and this is definitely a turning point, for Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson realizes that people want performance. They don't just want to cruise. They don't want slow machines. They want to be able to get out there, hit the road, accelerate. And there's a new kind of rider now. Riders are riding more aggressive every single day. They're stunting on baggers. They're doing all these different type of things that we've never seen before. So Harley-Davidson is adapting and providing us with a platform to be able to do that. You got this lighter bike with a ton of performance, so it's lighter with more performance than the previous generation. That lets you know Harley-Davidson knows that there's a more aggressive rider out there, and we've got to build something for them. Oh yeah, this bike handles the road so well. You got plenty of wind protection. I'm not feeling like anything to my chest whatsoever. I'm even missing wind catching my knees. It's probably those little deflectors down below. I'm catching it on the ankles because my pants are rising up, and I didn't wear the right kind of socks. I feel like my socks are rolling down, so I'm definitely catching some ankle wind. Luckily, it ain't cold out here today. But if you're looking for like the most cost-effective bagger that you can get, whether it be street glide or road glide, look at the billiard gray on chrome, and then just build it up to however you want, because this is an excellent option for you to get into this this bagger lineup, the 2024 generation. And it's a great time to get into it as well. There is no shortage of these bikes right now. They are flooding them out. They're in the dealerships. They're available, all different types of colors. And now the dealerships are putting all those different packages on them. That's cool as well, because you can go into a dealership and every dealership may have something different as far as what package they've put on the bikes, as far as ST packages and things like that. So now is a great time to look into buying some of these bikes. And I'm not trying to sell you on it, because I don't make anything if you buy them. I am not a salesperson. If you've been thinking about jumping into a bagger, and I know there's so many different brands out there, so many options to be able to choose from nowadays, you know, get out there and experience them. Now, I know not a lot of other brands will let you ride their motorcycles. Why is that? They won't let you ride them before you buy them. I mean, why would you buy something you can't ride first? Harley-Davidson gonna let you ride their bikes. So go out there and ride these bikes. See what you think of them. Get a feel for them. All you got to do is have an endorsement. Some dealerships might require you to have your own insurance, but you can get out there and ride these. You can go to demo days. You could go to, me personally, I just go to the dealership and ask to demo one, so that way you can have like a one-on-one personable ride, so you don't have to ride at everyone else's speed and how they ride. You could tell your representative or your fit specialist, sales specialist, whoever take you out on the road, how you like to ride, and they could give you a ride more catered to your experience and riding style. But in my opinion, I feel like this is a good looking machine, and it's got the technology that everyone's been complaining that Harley-Davidson didn't have. Well, they finally have given it to you. So take advantage of that, man. And they lowered the price for you. Look at that. This bike moves. But if you ain't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help the channel grow this year. I definitely am trying hard to get up to that 50K mark. So share the content, subscribe, like this video, comment down below. And I know I said I was going to do this scale 1 to 10 thing. I didn't do it in the last couple videos because those were impulse videos. But comment down below on a scale of 1 to 10. How likely, or is it a must for you to have one of these street glides? Just put the number down below, and I know you made it this far in the video. Me, I'd say I'd give this an 8. I'd give this a 7.5, 8 as far as a motorcycle I would want to own. It's a great machine. It's a blast to ride. It's comfortable, it's light, it's nimble. It's everything you could possibly want, man. I'll see y'all in that next one. I gotta get home in a little bit and yeah, go work on the Dyna. I got some things to do to the Dyna. Christian said come buy a bike.
I said come buy a bike.